But another damaging away defeat for Liverpool in the Premier League. Here's their captain, Virgil van Dijk.
Well, Virgil, there was a sliding doors moment in that game when you had the ball in the net. Obviously, it didn't stand. As you stand here now, do you look back at that, or do you reflect more on how Liverpool played today?
I think in football, obviously, there are key decisions. That obviously happens, and the officials are deciding this, and we have to deal with it on the pitch, both teams. And I think there's no point to discuss this on my point of view. But the reality is that we lost it 3-0, and that's obviously a big blow, definitely.
Before we move on then, have you seen it back? Do you have a view on whether it's a correct or incorrect decision?
It doesn't really matter, I think, what I would say, because if anything I would say would be in the next couple of days in the media, and then the whole international break will be about me saying and commenting on a decision that the referee made. I just rather focus on the fact that we lost here today, 3-0. And but obviously, yeah, decision or should have been a penalty or whatever.
Comment though on the Liverpool performance. How did that sort of match up to what you expect of yourselves, never mind us?
Yeah, I think obviously first half was difficult. You know, I think the way they were much more comfortable on the ball in terms of creating an extra overload in the back with Bernardo dropping a lot, and it was difficult obviously for our front guys to get the pressure on them. But I still don't think there was a lot of, you know, danger. Obviously Doku played a fantastic game, so it was difficult for Conor at times in the 1v1, but obviously still think we weren't much in trouble. We could have done better, of course, especially in possession, but and obviously then the decisions and the penalty moment, you know, the momentum shifts more to their side, and we had to dig deep. In the second half, obviously, I think we get a little bit more momentum in possession, but our pressing was just not good enough, and the way we did it as a team should have been better. But like I said before the game, it's finding consistency and keep going. And but this obviously losing hurts always, like it should be. That's each and every one of us. But 3-0 especially. And now we go to our countries and stay fit and be ready for a big run after that.
Yeah, Forest at home next for Liverpool. OK, he didn't want to give his view on it, but he said we can debate it, and we will do. Because it was a big moment at 1-0. Yeah, he was involved in.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I said my piece at half-time. I thought this was a really poor decision. I think the goalkeeper has got a totally clear view as Virgil van Dijk heads the ball. I don't think he affects the goalkeeper. I think if you remove Andy Robertson from the pitch at this stage, the ball goes in regardless. OK, he has to duck to get out the way of it, but that doesn't. The goalkeeper's got to dive regardless. The goalkeeper is going to dive regardless. He doesn't affect it in any way, shape or form. He is in an offside position, granted, but when you look at the rule, part of the rule is infringed, let's say, but part of it isn't. And I'm surprised that was given, I must admit. I think it was a poor decision. Now, that's not the excuse for Liverpool losing. Manchester City were the best team, but that would have been 1-1. It would have changed the game, no question about it. And I think it's a poor decision.
OK. We can now remind ourselves of the wording that the Match Centre sent out, much to his frustration. Arne Slot, the referee's call of offside, no goal to Liverpool, was checked and confirmed by VAR, with Robertson in an offside position, deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. And you're shaking your head at the wording of that, Michael, because...
An obvious action, all right, but that's not a rule. There's a rule that says if you make an action towards the ball, that yes, he's avoiding, he's getting out the way. He's not making a move towards the ball. In fact, there was a goal last season scored at the Etihad in the same fixture that was given, pretty similar.
Yeah, Szoboszlai's.
Szoboszlai, yeah, exactly. Well, here we go. Now, what's different in many ways, like Curtis Jones is right in front of the goal there. He's right in front of the goal. The goalkeeper can still see it, as you can see. Now, he's sort of...
If anything, he's further away from the goalkeeper there, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, this goal is given, and of course, you know, all of these goals are down to interpretation, and we can all argue different ways, but, you know, as I say, you take Robertson out, that goal goes in, that one there, Sabot's like, that goes in anyway, without him, as long as he's not interfering with the line of sight, I think that should be a goal. And it's exactly the same today with Andy Robertson. He's not interfering at all with that goal. It goes in without him being there. I think it's a really poor decision.
OK, let's go to the Etihad, see if Robbie Fowler agrees with you, because, of course, he's been there all day for us. I mean, what did you think initially, Rob, in the ground, live?
Oh, I thought it was a goal, and I still do. I think I've seen more replays now to make me think that it's... I mean, Liverpool will be getting an apology from the PGMOL. Obviously, the wording on the phrase that the VAR come out with was he's directly in front of the goalkeeper, or direct. He's not in front of the goalkeeper, so he's not directly in front. So whether it's an obvious action from Robertson to duck or whatever, he's not in front of the goalkeeper when he heads the ball, so he's not directly in front of him. So Liverpool will be getting an apology, because I think that's an atrocious decision. But Michael's spot on. I mean, look, let's take not away from City. City were by far the better team, but that could have changed the game. That could have changed the fortune for Liverpool. I mean, City were, full value for the 3 points here, and the performance was brilliant. But you talk about sliding door moments in football, and that could have been one for Liverpool.
Yeah, OK, but you're right, it didn't come up with much in the second half. 4 successive away defeats in the Premier League. The last time that happened was 13 and a half years ago. Bigger picture for Liverpool. They're struggling to find this consistency, aren't they?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on, I think players are maybe playing in positions where they're not comfortable. You look at Virgil maybe coming in from the left and trying to get involved in the middle of the game, where it's just really, really crowded, and he's struggling to adapt to the speed of the game, the speed of the Premier League. But for me, I think it's just a case of square pegs and round holes for Liverpool at the minute. I think even the subs, that obviously Arne Slot changed, were taking off the forward and putting on maybe a false 9. Ironically, there was a number of balls came into the box where you'd expect one of your forwards to maybe have a few tap-ins, but that was gone once the forward's gone, because they're playing with that false 9, and again the numbers coming in from the outside. I think Liverpool's play was a little bit predictable, and it has done for a number of times this year, whereas whoever plays on the left or whoever plays on the right, obviously being Salah, they cut inside and they're trying to find a pass. With City, you've got a crowd in there, so there's no room for any passes, there's no room for any players to go through. So therefore, you look at Doku's performance at Manchester City, where he's not afraid to go down the side. I know predominantly he wants to come inside, but he can go on the outside. Whereas Liverpool were lacking that, was when the ball does go to them, they want to cut inside, and it's hard. I mean, Michael will tell you, it's hard for a striker trying to read passes into areas of the pitch when it's coming from the left-hand side, from a right-footed player. It's hard to sort of make that run. But if you've got like a left-footed player getting to the byline, or a right-footed player getting to the byline, it's meat and drink for a forward, and 9 times out of 10 where the ball's going to be. That's what Liverpool are lacking at the minute. I think they are very, very predictable.
Thanks for your efforts, Rob. Thank you as always. That is the opinion of Robbie Fowler and indeed Michael Owen on the disallowed goal. Here is the Liverpool manager, Arne Slot.
Give us your view then on that influential moment, as you put it.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to give my view about it. I think it's obvious and clear that the wrong decision has been made, at least in my opinion.
Sorry, Arne, why do you think that?
Because he didn't interfere at all with what the goalkeeper could do. I immediately after the game, someone showed me the goal that what the same referee allowed City against Wolves last season, Wolves against City last season. So it took the linesman 13 seconds to raise his flag to say it's offside. So there was clearly communication. So, but as I said, that could have influenced the game in a positive way for us, because in the first half we were so poor. But yeah, a set piece can make a difference, and now we conceded the 2-0 from a set piece, and then that was maybe a fair reflection of the first half, by the way, us being 2-0 down, but that's maybe not where it's about.
Yeah.
He was pretty honest. Robbie Fowler alluding to the law there. Let's remind you of, just a few key words in the law in terms of Law 11, the offside law. The last sentence there, making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball, and that is what you're contesting, the wording of that.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't impact the ability of the goalkeeper in this situation to play the ball. He doesn't impact it at all. He's not blocking his view, he's not blocking his dive, he's not... There is nothing that he's doing that's impacting it. So I think, you know, you've got a Manchester City fan, you've got a neutral, you've got myself, you've got Robbie Fowler, you've got Arne Slot. Everybody is saying the same thing. It's a bad decision, but don't take anything away from Manchester City. They still deserve the win.
And they got the win in the 1000th game in his managerial career for Pep Guardiola.